I think this way, and again, web service, that's the data source that, get access in the HTTP, HTTP or HTTPS, and this is how it communicate to the other, the program, from one program to other programs.
Okay, anybody else want to try? Terry, Teki, what name is? You want to try? There was one my student in my previous company. His name was Terry. He was very intelligent. Terry. Okay. Hey, who wants to answer it? What is a web service? Please reply. Reply.
Mahendra, web service is a technology where one application and another application will communicate each other.
Yeah, you
with
understand the meaning of it. You are right. You are correct. Huh? You understand the meaning of whatever you are saying? Do you understand what you are saying?
Yep.
Yeah, two application is there, application A and application B. They want to exchange data. They want to
With the
communicate
raw
with each
format.
other, right? Yeah, the data only can be communicated in raw format, right? So we have two kind of web service, REST and SOAP, right? So if you have two application, one is in Python, second maybe in Java. So your intention is both applications should exchange data. Clear? And nowadays it is happening. In real life, you will not have one application. You have many applications, right? And important thing is all that can exchange the data, and that is possible with web service. The web service comes into two flavor. Definition is web service is a technology which allows data exchange between two different applications, right? Platform
JSON
implemented
or XML, right?
in REST, it could be any format. It could be JSON, it could be XML, it could be TXT, it could be byte array, right? Yeah, byte stream. Allow me, right? It could be XML feed. You guys are with me?
Mm-hmm.
In REST, data exchange could be any format, but in SOAP, data exchange is only XML. Oh, only XML format. Which one seems to be nice?
So
SOAP or REST?
As a SOAP,
Here
SOAP
we
has
have
many options.
only XML format. You see, REST has many format.
REST is good, I think. A lot of
And
options.
yeah, and in REST is also faster and it's easy, right? Easy to develop compared to it. Nice. Oh, so far this seems to be good.
yes.
And what? Give me a second. My headphone. Throw it here. And there. Easy to develop, faster. It is not standard. Non. It is standard. Hello. So REST is seems to be nice, right? But I'm telling you, SOAP has its own beauty. First benefit of, so it is standard. Standard means, hey, it doesn't matter whoever is developing it, right? .NET, Java, Python. It is standard means format will be always same. So which is good, right? At
Yes.
as per the standard is always nice. Otherwise, you will have always compatibility thing, right?
Yes.
Compatibility problem. From that perspective, which one is better?
So
SOAP. And HTTP only it only supports HTTP protocol. Hello, protocol. While SOAP support multiple protocol like HTTP, JMS. You know what I'm saying?
mhm.
It etc. It support multiple protocol, right? So which one seems to be better?
Looks like
It
SOAP
is
now.
standard, yeah. And if you talk about security perspective, it has end-to-end security plus protocol level security, right? And this has only protocol level security. Nice, né? But my requirement is not, suppose you don't want to support multiple protocol, you don't want this end-to-end security, right? Standardization is not an issue. Then you can, that's why we prefer
REST.
REST. So REST is most commonly used, but when you work in the company, it might be possible many times you may be using both web service in one project. REST you may be using for exposing your, creating your REST API. Are you following me? REST you may be using to expose the data. Say yes.
Yes.
Expose data, right? The way you are doing exposing data. We might be using REST API. Got it? Then SOAP. The SOAP you may be using only consuming the data. For SOAP you are acting as a client, right? There's a third party service. Using SOAP, what you are doing? Consuming the data only. Eating, consuming the data for SOAP web service. Got it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh man. For one web service, you are acting as a provider. But for second web service, you are using as a consumer.
Mm.
Got it or confused? In that
Got
way,
it.
you can say
Got it.
remote service. Nice. So using SOAP, you may be consuming the data, and using REST, you are producing the data. You are exposing the data. That's correct. So SOAP web service is clear to everyone. You should know web service and which web service we are using in the current project, banking project, REST
REST.
API.
Right.
Yeah, and we have one totally project for it, and that project name is called Banking API. If you remember, this one. Okay. Again, my batch, you guys are important for me. Anybody have any question query? Nobody's asking any question query. Please, anybody have any question query for me?
So, Nagin sir, are all APIs web services considered web services? Any kind of API?
No, no, no.
Okay.
Any kind of API is not. A special API.
Okay, certain APIs are web services.
Yeah, it is a special API. Let me tell you.
Okay.
First of all, this API is a remote API. It is running on the remote normally.
Okay.
And second thing is this API has capability to accept raw data, accept JSON, accept TXT, accept XML, and
Mm-hmm.
it's produce raw data. That's beauty of it, right? And
Yes,
all
sir.
the API that does not do like this, no,
Okay.
right? You may be using Java API, jar, right? Which you can
Mm-hmm.
directly put in the class path, and you can that is running locally, right? That is present locally. But web service is remote API, which exchange data between two, which allows exchange data between two different applications in raw data, in XML and JSON, right? REST
Yes.
API normally deal with JSON, but XML SOAP deals with XML
Excellent.
format. Make sense?
Yes, sir.
So guys, I told you many times you can get the benefit of my session when you ask questions. So you don't care about if I ask the question, other people might start to laugh. Let them laugh. Because in this
Yeah,
batch,
Nagin,
nobody knows anything, right? So you should not bother about it. Nobody expert in it, okay? We all are at the same level and we all are friends, right? Simple. Go ahead.
Nagin, so when the one application communicate with the another application, whether the different application has a different programming language, or this should be in the same programming language.
No. In web
Technology
service,
independent, right?
yeah. One may be in Python, right? Actually, we are Java people, right? That's why
Mhm.
we are making everything in Java. But in real life, it's not true, man. One may be in Python, second may be in Java, third may be in
PHP.
.NET. Yeah, it could be any technology.
Okay.
Now again, one question.
Please.
Okay, I'm not working on the banking project right now because I just assuming just bringing my visibility that let's say working in the banking project and something happened in the web service. Let's say the web service is down for some reason because web service need to update it. In that case, how the banking projects goes is
Good question.
maybe yeah.
Actually, normally in real life, right? only one instance of application is not running.
Uh-huh.
For same functionality, multiple instances is running, right? So if you want to update it, you will make down only one instance of it, not all.
Mm.
Okay. Okay.
So like you have to update the 5 instance of it, right? So you will make down one by one. You can make down 1 or 2, 3 maybe running, right?
Mm-hmm.
So once you upgrade service 1, service 2 instance, right? Then service 1 and service 2 start to run, right?
Yep.
Then you can down others. So you do
Okay.
like this. Otherwise, application will goes down. People will kill you, right?
Yeah. Thanks.
Done. Okay. So next thing which you have to we have to talk about what is the problem with the current architecture we have. Because if you see in the project, everything in our project is going to be bundled into the single file. What I said? Single, you know, oh, Mister, I told you a couple of times. If somebody I can ask how you are deploying your application, don't say right click in the Eclipse and run it. In that way, if you say, they will understand you don't know anything. Got it?
We have to
So
change in the
yeah, actually this is for development purpose. Here you can right click and run it, right? But it's not in real life. So
we have to change in the
basically,
war.
this project is based on monolithic architecture. Why? Because when you want to deploy it, so what you need to do? If you want to deploy it, then you have to make a jar or war of it. Depend
Yeah.
on which technology you are using. If you are using Spring Boot, then normally we make a jar of it. You can make war of it also. So it depends on if you want to use the embedded Tomcat, right? Then you can use jar. If you want to use external Tomcat, then you can external Tomcat means your own Tomcat, right? You can install it and deploy it. Clear? So
Mm-hmm.
normally in Spring Boot we make a jar. How to make a jar? Simple. You can go and type this command mbn package. Hello. When you do it, jar will be created of your project. So you tell me for this situation, all will be packed into one jar or different jar. Any guess? One jar file. Hmm. Like jar file name is rap3tech jar. Anybody have any question query? So you are making a single
Yeah.
jar of it, and if you want to run it, you can simply run it by using this command jar. Sorry, Java hyphen jar, and you can give the name of the project. Okay, lab3tech jar. Make sense? In this way, your project will be started to up and running. Understood? So in this, all the API, banking API, DAO service, everything is going to be bundled into one file. So this is called monolithic architecture. Which architecture?
Monolithic.
Monolithic. So in monolithic architecture, I'll show you. You have a lot of monolithic. In this, you'll see there is a lot of drawback of it. Let's talk on that. Clear?
Mm-hmm.
The uh, first drawback is if you want to deploy multiple copy of banking API, right? You cannot do it. If you want to deploy the multiple instance of banking API, you cannot do it. Why? Because everything is bundled in the one jar file. If you want to make a 5 instance of the API, you have to make 5 instance of whole application. Say yes.
Yes.
Really, you understand what I'm saying? You cannot individually, scale it. That is the problem. For web, you want there should be three instance of it. Please try to understand. My requirement is I want 3 instance of it. 3 instance of it, right? And I want 5 instance of API. You you just give me the answer. Do you think you can do it? No.
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 No. This is the first problem. Okay. Similarly, we have to understand the drawback of monolithic architecture. I may have PowerPoint. Let me open it. See, I don't want you should mug the thing. Don't mug it. You just 5 points you remember about the difference between microservices and monolithic architecture. So let's talk on some points, right? Already it is written. Why is sleeping? Slow development. Why? See, if everything is in one project, what the problem? Your code base becomes big, right? And if you do some code change, it will take some time to deploy or not. Think about
Yes.
it.
Yes, it takes time.
So first drawback is
Time
slow
consuming.
development. Yeah. If your small project is there, you can make a change, right? And easily you can run it again and again, right? Slow development. Yeah, that's very genuine point. That is one thing. Second, let me talk about. Second issue is large and complex application, right? Your project is very big. It's large and complex or not? Of course,
Yes.
somebody wants to understand. He has to see all the code, right? Unnecessarily. Some code may be not concerned with you, and some code may be concerned with you. So long and complex. That is another problem. I'm just telling you the drawback of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Long and complex. Block continuous deployment. You know, continuous deployment. This is also one of the good thing. When you do some code change, yeah, you want to deploy it, right? So that you can ensure everything is working fine. Are you following me? Benefit
Mm-hmm.
of the continuous deployment. We always in the industry we always use pipeline. What it does, you need to understand the meaning of the continuous continuous development. No,
CI/CD.
yeah,
CI/CD, yeah,
block continue.
and deployment, yeah.
Here, block continuous. Give me a second. Block continuous development means when you do the development, right? You have to deploy it most frequently, right? Again and again, so that you can ensure after changes everything is working fine. If your project is small, right, easily you can deploy it. Okay? If your project is big, it will take a lot of time to deploy, right? So that is
Yes.
not good for the continuous development and deployment, right? So I will teach you for the Jenkins. In Jenkins, we'll show you how in the industry how you deploy your project. Clear? This
Yes.
would be the question in the interview. They would say, you tell me what was the deployment process, who was doing the deployment in your project, how you were doing the deployment, right? This question answer you cannot give it unless and until you really work with the company. Are you following me?
That's true, yeah.
Mhm.
The
See,
Jenkins can help you.
if I ask some Java question, you can answer it, right? If I ask some process related question, you might get confused. Clear? So next, unscalable. The unscalable we talked about, right? If I want to make a 5 instance of it, 3 instance of it, you cannot do it. Make sense? Meaning of unscalable. Here in unscalable, guys, I'm not happy with you. See, what I'm saying is, if any point is not clear to you, ask questions with me. Now, again, this point is not clear to me. Can you clarify it like this? Don't be shy, and you don't think if I ask the question, people will think I am fool. You know, like here, we all are the friend. Don't think I am fool, right? Nobody is fool here, right? Simple. Fool means you don't know. That's why you are fool, right? I may be also fool in other technology. Yes, you know. I don't know Python. I am fool in that. Yes, you know. Yeah.
Yes.
Similarly,
I have a question.
you guys try to understand. Let me complete. You guys do not know the thing. That's why you are here. Otherwise, why you will come to this Rap 3 or Cubic, right? Because you don't know the thing. Here, you just came for the learning purpose. So please ask questions. Go ahead.
Just to get the big frame here, the monolithic architecture got this, it has these drawbacks, the challenges, but are we comparing it with microservice or in what?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm actually, if you go with microservices architecture, long and complexity, right? Slow development, block continuous development, all this problem will be sorted out. Unscalable. Who will justify what is the meaning of unscalable? You cannot deploy multiple instances of it, right? Suppose you want to deploy the 5 copy of banking API, by default 5 copy of banking web will be also done because all are in same bundle.
So you have to make a copy of all those.
Yeah, of course,
So,
unnecessarily you have to do it, right? That's
yeah.
problem is unreliable. Here unreliable meaning is if you are doing change into one module, right? So that can affect other module also, right? That is the meaning of unreliable. Or because of big bang, if some problem comes into one module like memory leak, it will impact whole application or not.
Yes.
Yes.
So that is the meaning of unreliable, right?
So one issue affects the whole program.
Yeah, of course, because it is everything you have bundled into one part, right?
Right,
That's
right.
problem is. I can tell you other drawback also. Like here, you does not have technology independence. If in monolithic architecture, you have to use only one technology. You cannot use multiple technology. Say yes.
Yes.
Yes, yeah.
Why? Because everything is one project. If you are using Java, you can use Java. You cannot use Python or that other thing. Okay. So let's talk. Same thing I'm going to show you like this. A drawback of monolithic architecture. Simple approach has a limitation in size and complexity. We talked about already, right?
Mm-hmm.
Application is too large and complex, fully understand and make changes fast and correctly. Application is too large and complex to fully understand. That's correct, right? If it is very complex and large, it's not easy to fully understand, right? And make changes fast. That's correct? Yep. Size of the application can slow down the startup time. That's correct. If your project is very big and if you are starting it, it can take time. Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. You must redeploy the entire application on each update. That's correct. You have 10 modules. All the modules are bundled into one and you are doing in one change in one file. So you have to deploy the just portion of it or whole application.
Whole application.
So this is another. You
Here,
must redeploy entire.
don't we use Jenkins to help us with that?
No man.
Even in
You tell
monolithic?
me if you have a big project and you are doing changes in one part of it, but you have to redeploy whole thing. Another drawback of it. You understand or not understand?
Yep.
Somebody has any confusion? Please ask questions. So this session is only for your confusion. If you ask the questions, of course, I would like to answer it. Then you must redeploy the entire application on each update. That's correct. Impact of changes is usually not very understood, which leads to the extensive manual testing. That's correct. If you have very big project and if you are doing some changes and suppose it is not well understood, then you have to do thorough testing of it. So it's required good amount of testing for the product. Continuous deployment is difficult. We talked about why. This is a big project in continuous deployment, right? Those projects are good which you can build and deploy faster, but monolithic architecture it will take time, so that's why it's not good for monolithic application. Can also be difficult to scale. We talked about, yes,
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Another problem with monolithic application is reliability. We talked about bug in any module like memory leak can potentially bring down the entire process. Whatever written already we talked about. Hello.
Yes,
Naveen,
yes.
like if this architecture has so many drawbacks, like I have few friends programmers and I asked them like which architecture they are working and they say like they are working in
Mulithic.
yeah, so why like everyone is in this architecture mostly?
Okay, good question. Okay, I can give you a very layman example, right? Which is the latest version of iPhone 12
Yeah,
Yeah.
Max Pro Plus, right? Why
But I'm
everybody is not
using
using
iPhone
that?
6.
No, why everybody is not using it?
it's
People are
expensive.
still expensive. And another thing is already you have you have a um, iPhone, right? Like
It's a
iPhone 11 and
it's
all. Yeah,
legacy. I already have it.
already you don't want to spend money on it, right? Because already it's good for you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Similarly, if your any project is already ongoing, right? If you
Mm-hmm.
migrate to the new technology, it's involved a lot of cost. And if you are changing something, if some bug comes, who will take care of it? People will kill you. If you suppose you have some monolithic architecture project, it's working fine, right? No, it
Mhm.
does not have the bug. Already it is well tested, right? And working perfectly fine. We don't have any issue. So why you will convert into microservices? There is no question of it. Because if you
So if
convert into microservices, first thing, it may take a lot of time, right?
I
And
have to hire
to
more
convert,
people.
you have to hire the people, and the people who is going to convert this monolithic architecture into microservices, they should have good knowledge, right? If we can some mistake, then there would be a lot of bug and people will kill you. Got it?
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
if something is running already, nobody is going to take risk. That's why your friend is working in monolithic architecture. Even I am working on monolithic architecture. Plan of my company is they will migrate it slowly in microservices architecture.
Okay.
Got
So
it?
that means we are waiting to be a cheap mic. Just kidding.
Yeah. Actually, now if you talk about new development, which is starting from the scratch, they are going to follow this architecture.
Okay, I got it.
And another problem is this microservices architecture is not good for big, small projects. If you are going to deal with a small scale project, this is not good. Unnecessarily complexity and headache. Clear?
Yeah.
Good. Monolithic application has barrier adopting new technology. I told you, right? If it is
Mhm.
going in Java, right? So since it is a big application, if you do change in one place, you have to do for every places. The barrier to adopting new technology. Got it?
Yes.
See, if you are developing, you are working in microservices, and your company plan to develop some new feature, right? So that you can develop in new technology. Yes, you can say, sir, we can do in Python. Clear? And
Hmm.
let's make a new microservices. Make sense?
Yes.
So new thing or new feature easily you can develop in new technology. Done. So we have to make the benefit of no drawback we are talking about. Okay. So now we have to see the benefit of it. Just opposite, right? Benefit of microservices. I'm not going to teach you, much theoretically. We have to finish in next 5 minutes. Okay. After that, we'll come to the coding and all. First one is developer independence. With a small team working in a microservices, it contribute much more, developer freedom. A suppose for 5 module you have 5 team. One module is one microservices, right? So there would be developer independence or not. I just focusing on my module, right? I have nothing to do with the other module. Make sense?
Yeah, yeah.
So there would be much developer freedom, and a small team that are working in parallel can iterate faster than large team. Iterate means you can do changes more frequently, right? Faster. Got it? That is
Yeah.
the first benefit of it. Autonomous deployment. As opposed to the monolithic, individual components are much easier to fit into the continuous delivery pipeline. That's correct or not? You have a
Yes.
small project, a small module, you can make changes frequently, and you can fit into the continuous delivery pipeline. What is the continuous delivery pipeline? I told you, Jenkins. We'll talk on that. Okay. Another point is only the pinpointed service need to be modified and redeploy when changes is needed. And if a service should fail, the other will continue to function independently. Same thing. If you are deploying independently, if one module there is some problem in one of the microservices, it will impact other. No,
No.
only that will go down. Other will be up and running, right? But what is
Hmm.
the problem in monolithic? If one module has some problem, then since every modules are bundled in a single project, all will go down. That's problem. Mhm.
Your screen is not sharing now.
Somebody stop my sharing. Okay. Okay.
Oh, is that
Cool.
possible? Someone can stop you?
Yeah, it's maybe possible.
Okay.
Okay. Scalability. Do you understand this? Yeah. Scalability means in microservices, for every module you have one project, and every module you can scale independently. Yes, you know.
Yes.
Due to fact that microservices are made of much smaller component, they are able to take up fewer resources and therefore more easily scale to meet the increased demand of the specific component only. That's correct. I'm not going to read this passage. You need to understand the motto of it. As a result of their isolation, microservices can properly function even during large changes in size and volume. Fine. Large volume means there's a lot of load, so you can deploy multiple instances of it. Autonomously developed is as opposed to the more individual component are much easier to. Okay, that's already we talked about. When you design the microservices, you divide as per the business domain. Microservices architectures are split along business domain boundary organized across the capabilities such as logistic, billing, etc. Oh, my friend, when you design microservices, how you decide this would be one microservices on the basis of its domain boundary capability, right? This is like logistic module, this is billing module, this is customer module, this is catalog module. You know, hello, this is shopping cart, right? So you can make one module as per the its domain and capability. Make sense?
Yes.
Nagendra, quick question. So the one monolithic applications we have, like banking API, web service, can we also, for example, we can just to understand, we can tell them like banking API is one module and web
No,
banking.
yeah. You can see in banking application, you can have many modules, many microservices. One microservices which deals with only fund transfer, right? When you do the transaction, that is one thing. Second, maybe managing your dashboard where you can see your bank account summary, you know, where you can see your account statement. Are you with me? Second, third maybe loan module. Fourth, maybe dealing with credit card. That would be one microservices, right? So it is as per the domain and capability, right? You can make it microservices. Make sense? So
Like
this is architecture level.
one functionality can make one module, maybe.
Yeah, one functionality, one domain you can say, right? For example,
Okay.
fund transfer, right? So you may be adding pay, managing pay, displaying pay,
Okay.
deleting pay, right? So
Mhm.
you have to take whole one domain altogether.
Good.
And for this we don't have formula. For this you really must have very good domain knowledge. Then you can make this decision. Because if you don't know the thing, how you can decide it, right? This is the part of the design, and in design, the people who is going to design it, he must have good experience. Make sense?
So just a quick question then. Does that mean they're gonna use a separate database or the same database?
No. In microservices, good question. Most of the cases we have different database. One microservices, one database.
Makes sense.
Hello? Yeah. So final benefit of microservices architecture is the fact that it is highly evolutionary. Why? Its meaning is you can evolve with the thing very fast, right? Done. So let's make the conversation. You see, this is the monolithic architecture. Can you see this? We have user interface, business layer, data, everything in we have, right? Here what we did, we divided now for GUI related thing, you divided into one microservices, right? This is the REST API. This could be REST API for customer. This may be REST API for employee. Got it? You see? Hello. You can see
Yeah.
the one microservices may be using other microservices, right? Maybe calling. But you see each microservices has its own database. Yes, you know? Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's why I hope you understand. See, nobody can remember all these PPTs, right? It's not possible. But you got the conclusion. Microservices architecture is better, right? In terms of complexity, development, continuous deployment, scalability, reliability, and developer independence, technology evaluation, right? You can evolve your technology.
So one last question before we leave this. How do each microservice communicate with another one?
That is the next thing, right? You
Ah.
talked about. So anybody have any question query? Otherwise, I jump to the next part. We talked about the theoretical knowledge of it, like what is a microservices, right? So microservices is a architectural solution, right, to design your application so that you can get the benefit of the following things, right? So this is the architectural solution, means how you can organize your application, right? It's all about organizing your application or not. Of course, you have your big bang application. You are splitting into number of module that is called microservices. Clear? So
Nagin,
microservices is not a technology.
quick question.
Yeah.
That the one you point out to the database, it's a web service. I mean, can you go back to the diagram, please? I have one question there. Okay, this one. So microservice, each microservice point to the database, it's the database, right? But are you talking about the RDB as a database, or it has separate data that is, we work for
It could be anything.
Okay.
It could be anything. It could be relational database. It could be NoSQL database, or it might be using both.
Okay.
Your
For example,
question should be Nagendra.
mhm.
In one microservices, we use only one database, that is relational database, or we can use relational and NoSQL both, like MySQL and MongoDB. My answer is
Anything.
Anything.
you can use both.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. And then for that microservice, let's say we talk about the loan payment for the banking project loan payment. So how this loan payment, okay, let's say this microservice UI is one loan payment module. So that loan payment module is going to integrate to that only whatever the database we choose it to correspond. Hello.
Can you come again?
Okay. Okay, my question is like, as you said that, the microservice, for example, we take the banking project and has it's like piece, module. For example, one loan payment, or the other one credit card, debit card, some kind of things. And if one developer is developing one module, then how this module is independent in one particular database? Like you said, the database we can use any kind of database there. So how it works? Because it's piece by piece.
Yeah, man. Actually, when you are working on one module, so your focus is only on one module, right? Requirement is there, everything is there, right?
That is correct.
So
Yeah.
for one module, you have a REST API, you have service layer, DAO layer, your repository. So what is the
Right.
confusion?
The
I don't care
confusion
about I don't care about the other module, right?
Okay.
The other module is there, right? So they
Mhm.
have their own requirement, right? They have their own interfaces and all.
Okay.
So
Because when I'm
see,
talking about the relation
if you
database,
yeah
Mhm.
yeah go ahead.
I think like if I'm working in one module, then of course I'm going to fetch the data from central repository, which is only one database. But when you show there are three separate databases, that's why I was confused. But I think
No
I'm
need
clear,
to.
I guess.
Actually, in microservices, we have a separate database.
Mhm. Okay, great. Yeah, that's the answer of my question now. Thanks.
So now question is we can see if we can do different microservices. So what is the challenging thing for the microservices in communication across different microservices? Clear? So let's see that. So you can take any example, right? Like if you say if you take the example of banking application, right? So there would be one module like internet banking. Hello. So this is one API, right? REST API, which is dealing with internet banking, and there is another API that is dealing with the admin part. You know, admin who can manage
Yeah.
the back office,
Mhm.
and next maybe which is dealing with your reporting part, right? Third. or it is dealing with employee. Got it? Take the 3 example of it. Make sense? So this is one REST API, right? That's correct. This is another REST API. And REST API is easy to make in Spring Boot. You can make it in 2 or 3 minutes only. So your question is how one API will communicate with other API. That's your question. See,
Correct. Yeah.
one REST API can call a other REST API.
Yeah.
How? By using HTTP client.
Yes.
People, and this is used a lot in the industry nowadays. I would say you should know it. Make sense?
Yeah.
HTTP client is the library through which one other application can access the REST API. Oh man, here you are exposing the data. So in API, we have always 2 parts. One is exposing the data. Second is eating the data,
Consuming.
consuming, right? So in order to consume it, you need what? HTTP client library. And HTTP client library present in C, C++, Java, .NET, every languages you can see it. Make sense? So if you use HTTP client, your code will become cumbersome, right? Big, complex. So Spring offered HTTP client library. Which client? Sorry, REST template. What is a REST template? It is one of the library offered by Spring Web module. Which module?
Spring Web module.
Spring Web module. And using this, you can consume the REST API. So REST template is a Java-based client library which can consume your REST API. You understand REST template? I'll show you the use of it. And REST template is used a lot. And in one interview recently, they have asked. He said REST API is deprecated, right? You got a point? He said, which one is the latest version? I don't know. That time I was not able to answer it. Template.
What was the question again?
Yeah, he said REST template is deprecated. So I think this one. That time I was not able to answer it. I think we have web client, right?
Yeah.
Let's see. Since REST era, most developers have become used to working with the traditional REST template from the package. I told you, right? From the Spring Web module for consuming REST services. You need to understand really what REST template is. I'm telling you. Spring also has web client and it is a reactive package called web plugs. I think I have answered it, right? That was correct. This post will help decide whether you can make the switch for REST template to web client. Since web client is supposed to successor of REST template, we'll be looking into a bit deeper. Nice. Hey, which one is the latest version of it? Web client.
So 20. Yeah.
Yeah, REST template is deprecated. So I think you are saying right. We can now inject default REST template builder being our service build a REST template plum configuration. So no worries. We'll talk on that. Okay. Web client exists in Spring 5. It provides a asynchronous way of consuming REST services, which means it operates non-blocking way. Web client is in the reactive WebFlex library, and that thus it uses reactive. I understand, right? It's web client is the latest one. What is the beauty of it? It supports asynchronous and synchronous both. Got it? Hello, but you guys just focus on REST template first.
Can we
Because
elaborate on synchronous and asynchronous?
yeah. Okay. Do you understand the meaning of synchronous and asynchronous? Yes or no? Otherwise, I would like to answer that first.
No.
Okay.
Yeah. Can you
See,
explain, please?
if client is making call to the server and like here you think like this. We have a certain line. 1, 2, 3. This is the statements, okay? Like here, when you make the call, right, to the server, and server is taking some time to give the response. So you have two choice. Hello. In this, you have two choice. When you make the call, right, unless and until response comes to you, you are waiting over here, right? You are not continuing because you are waiting for the response from the server. That is called synchronous. What? Synchronous. What is the asynchronous? When you make the call, right, and the server is taking some time to give the response. Understood? In that case, this caller will not wait for the response. It will continue the execution. Whenever response will come from the server, there will be callback method and that will execute. So tell me, which one seems to be better, synchronous or asynchronous?
Asynchronous.
Asynchronous.
Yeah.
So AJAX call is the best example of asynchronous communication.
You don't have to wait for the asynchronous.
Yeah, in asynchronous, no need to wait for the
Response.
I hope synchronous and asynchronous is clear to you now.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Normally in the client nowadays in the world, all maximum cases it is asynchronous because you want to make parallel copy of it, parallel request, right? Yeah. No confusion. So what we are going to use for consuming for calling your REST API, Postman. No man, Postman is only for testing purpose, right? Yes, you know. You want to use your REST API. That's you want to test your REST API. That's why you use Postman. You got my point? People reply. But in Java code, if you want to consume your REST API, what you are going to use? Any guess?
Web client.
Yeah, you are going to use web client or REST template. Web client is the latest version of it, right? But in my example, I'm going to show you the REST template. REST template is also not bad, okay? Because if you don't need asynchronous, REST template is more than enough. Got it? Hello. Now, do you think how one API can talk to other API using what? REST template. Other people, you have to reply. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So there's so many ways of communicating web client, REST.
Exactly. So many ways. Yeah, you can do it. Not a problem. Another thing is, see, when you use REST template, right? And like, you know, every API is running on some domain. Yes or no? Suppose this is running on domain abc.com. Yes or no? Yeah.
Yes.
And this is running on tata.com. And this is running on some other domain, right? Mac.
Yeah, the
See,
Birla.
yeah. Whatever you want to write, sir. It's okay. Tata, Birla, what you want to do. See, so if this API, right, directly talk to this API, right? So there could be some problem. What problem could be? Because you know, sometime you do not map. This is the internal, right? You don't map to the domain, right? Then IP and port number can be changed or not? Think and then only tell me. Hey, this application is running. Its IP can be changed or not? At any time it can be changed. What do you say? When you guys are not replying.
Yeah, it does change. I mean, every
Yeah,
time when you are
every
refreshing.
time IP
Yeah.
and port. No, not refresh. Every time as your machine could be changed, right? Port number can be changed. That's possible, man, right? So direct communication between REST API is not a good choice. Oh my God, you got it? So what is the solution of it? The solution is first of all, do you understand the problem? You don't want this REST API directly talk to this one using its IP and port number. In the problem with you people are when you don't reply. So I'm thinking like you don't understand. That's why you're not saying anything. Honestly, I'm crying.
Then if when it changes, then your work will be go away, right? Because your IP is changed.
IP change means
Yeah.
all the client started to broken.
Right. I mean,
So
all
using IP is not good choice, right? Because this
yeah.
IP you may be using many places in the client, right? That's problem is. So solution of this problem is we have to use a discovery server in between. What? Discovery server. What is a discovery server? And we have to understand how it works. I'm moving towards microservices concept. So your question may be, what is a discovery server and how it works? See, this discovery server is one of the Spring Boot, cloud tool which is used to design microservices. So what is the benefit of it? Like in discovery server, uh, when you run your microservices, all are going to register themselves with some logical name. This is the IP address, right? So
Yeah.
it can be mapped with some logical name like Tata service. With me? Yeah. So benefit is you have given the logical name. This logical name is not going to change at all. IP and port number can be changed anytime, right? And second REST API, which is employee, you can map with employee service. Make sense? So it has mapping between this port number IP and this logical name. So somebody wants to call your REST API, he can use what? This logical name. He is not going to use the IP and port number of it. So tell me, problem is solved or not?
Yeah, it's all.
Yes, but how
You
is
really
that
understand?
logical name
Yeah.
related to the IP address?
Can you come again?
How is the logical name related to the IP address?
Yeah, how it is mapped. You want to see the practical example of it. Am I right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That is the next part, man. I'm saying if I give you the food, you'll get the energy, right? So you are saying, where is the food? I'm feeling hungry.
Yes.
That's fine. That's fine. That is the next part. I'll cover it. Okay. But you tell me, you understand the purpose of this discovery server, and this discovery server is coming as a project that is called Eureka server. So which project we are going to use? Which server we are going to use as a discovery server?
Eureka
Eureka.
server. Eureka server.
Eureka server. So in order to show this example, what we need to do, I need to make 2 or 3 microservices and one Eureka server. And Eureka server is nothing. It's just a normal Spring Boot project. Fine. The agenda is clear. But I'm telling you what my approach is. First of all, I will show you how to make REST API, then discovery server. Then we have to see REST template, how we can use it. But I don't know you got this much or not, what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's clear.
I mean,
Clear?
Nagin, I got it. But when you said that, from the when we said logical name will be created in a discovery server, but
I'm
that
going to
logical
show
name.
you. I'm going to show you.
Okay.
Actually, in the world, somebody wants to use my service. He is not going to use this name. He is going to use my logical name, that is IB-service. That's it. When you use my name, automatically it will connect to this IP and port number.
And that logical name will be static, right? Never
This like
unless you.
yeah, logical name is not going to be changed.
Okay.
If you change it, then then you'd be not able to connect with this. Again, same problem. So there is no question of changing logical name. Make sense?
Yeah.
Your SSN number will be always fixed. Sorry, SSN number is service name, right? That is always fixed. And other information, which is metadata of the SSN service, right? SSN
Got it.
number can be changed. That's fine.
Got it.
Not a problem. Clear? Cool. So agenda is, I'm going to show you first of all how to design Eureka server. Please come with me. Yes, right? Eureka server. If you are not understanding all these things logically, let me know. Like here, I don't know how it is written on the internet and all. I don't care about it. You have to understand, right? With the help of example, right? Slowly, slowly. So you see, I have here Eureka server project. Can you see this, please? If you want to make Eureka server, it's all about adding dependency. Nothing else. You have to just make a, how to make a Maven project? Yeah.
Yes.
So in this, you say, Nagin, what is the specialty into it? I would say nothing. You see, in this, you just have this Netflix Eureka server. This is the dependency which is used to make Eureka server. That's it. and you have to add this dependency because of we are using cloud project. That's it. Nice. This is the version of the Spring Cloud we are using. Spring Cloud has many versions, and I'm telling you, if you copy all the jar blindly here and there, that will not work. Clear? Compatibility is another thing. So I'm going to use Netflix Eureka server to design my discovery server that is called Eureka server. Make sense? Hello? Making Eureka server is a job of 10 minutes only, not 10 minutes. I'm sorry about it. 2 minutes. Anybody have any question, query? You should not bother about the jar. Simple, this jar and this jar, you can add it and just add this dependency management. That will, take the required, dependency for Spring Cloud. Got it? Or anybody have any
Yes.
confusion? No. And if you have a Spring Boot project, you have to make a main file, public static void main, or forget it. Simple. Hello. Spring, this name could be anything. If you want to say this is my Spring Boot application, you can use Spring Boot application notation, and here you can use Spring application dot run. Here you can give the same name as its class name, and here you can pass the argument as a second parameter. And here I'm saying, hey, Spring Boot application, you are not normal application. You are Eureka server. That's why I mentioned enable Eureka server. Any question, query, if anybody has?
No.
You tell me, if you want to make your Spring Boot application Eureka server, what do you have to do? You have to add its dependency in the POM, then you have to put a notation, enable Eureka server. That's it. My job is done.
Again, can you explain between like the dependency and module? The concept of, because
Like here, actually, this is one of the jar, right? And this is your parent POM, right? So some dependency are defined here, common dependencies are defined here, and main dependency is here. In this, we have some common dependency, right? Parent and child relationship. So this dependency you need in each and every project. Sarita, what I'm saying? This dependency we need in each and every project, and this is the specific dependency you want, right? So suppose this download 10 jars, and this will download 11 jar. That's why for common dependency, we always mention the dependency management. You got it? Like this version will come from this version. This one. So do you understand the meaning of dependency management? It has common jar. Yeah, this jar you can use in 20, 30 projects, right? So common jar is here and specific jar you have added here. That's it. And this annotation we are using for what purpose? I want to make this Spring Boot application as a Eureka server. Just a second, please. Give me a second. I'm just coming. 10 seconds. Hello. My crowd just willing to
Yes.
know.
Again, sir, yes.
Do you understand this annotation? If somebody would ask this question, hey, I want to make Eureka server, discovery server, what I need to do? You would say create a Spring Boot project as dependency of Netflix Eureka in the POM, and then create a main file, Spring Boot main file, and annotate enable Eureka server. Your job is done. And here we have a file. This is my application name. Every application name has some name, right? So you can give this name, and this name is, Bootstrap. This is the here we have defined, YAML file. YAML file.
Yes.
YAML file and property file both are same. In property file, you give the information in key value format. In YAML file, you give the property in tree format, right? That's it. Like here.
Again, what is YAML file? It's first time I'm hearing about it.
Yeah. YAML file and property file is same. Property file is used to give the information to the Spring Boot in key value format. Pratima, when I'm asking question, reply. Do you know property file?
Yeah, property file.
Property file is used for what purpose? You're not replying. Don't worry. You can say I don't know. I forget it. That's fine.
Property file or application property file is same.
Yes, property
The same
file.
thing.
I'm talking about the general thing. Okay.
So like
Property
it
file
is
means
computer property file, you mean, sir? I just got confused.
okay, no problem. Very into YAML file. I'm like this is my property file, and I want to. You have to reply also. Like
Yeah.
here, I have property file and want to convert into YAML file. How it looks like. Can you see this,
Yeah.
Pratima?
So
The
it's just
property file keeps key value pair.
Mhm.
Are you with me?
Yeah.
Like here, same the information. Either you can use Eureka dot client dot service URL. This is the key, right? And this is the value. Or you can map like Eureka colon client colon service URL, then default. The same thing, right? Client instead of dot, you becomes colon and then this client. So in this, your key is in tree format, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is called property file representation, and below is called YAML
Yeah.
file represent. So in property file we have dot dot dot. This is more readable, right?
Yeah. It's easy.
So your question is, Nagendra, I should use property file or YAML file? I would say you can use either. It is up to you.
So it's nothing like change, or it's like give same output.
Yeah. Same output. This is just two way to uh, represent the data. Who did the property file? Spring Boot.
Yeah.
Hey, why we need property file? Pratima, your answer should be property file is used to give input to your project, right? If you want your project should be customized, you can give all the input to your project in Spring Boot using property file or YAML file. In property and YAML file, what difference is? They're just same. It both does the same job, but both are just different way to pass input to the
Okay.
Spring Boot project.
Okay. I got it. Thank you.
No problem. Like here, what is your application name? Your application name is Spring Boot app name, right? If it is not present, then it will take this name. Hey, this called if else. If this property is defined, right? It will take from here. Otherwise, default name is this. Got it? What is the server port for your Spring Boot Eureka server? 8761. Either it is defined. If it is not defined, it will take 87. And what is the host name? Eureka service registry. You can give any name, right? And these two property, right? False, false. You tell me, a Eureka server should register himself? No. It is not register himself. It is registered. It is used to register other microservices, not himself. That's why it is false and false. Clear? Another thing is, this is the URL where other microservices is supposed to register. HTTP localhost. You forget about it. It is not defined, right? So what is the HTTP localhost colon port number and Eureka? You know what this is? This is the URL where the other microservices is registered himself. Got it or confused?
How many microservices are here?
Right now, I don't have any microservices. I'm just designing my Eureka server.
Okay.
And I'm saying Eureka server is saying, hey, microservices, if somebody wants to register uh, inside me, use this URL. So this URL can be used by other microservices to register themselves.
Oh,
Makes
okay.
sense?
Yeah.
So if you allow to me, can I start my microservices?
Yes, sir.
Run a Java application. You know it, right? So tell me, who will tell me? Design this Eureka server is very challenging job.
No.
No.
No, that I want to listen it. No. So
Please.
it is running on which port number? I forget it. This
It's
was
Yep.
yep. So you type this URL. If you type it, it will show you the dashboard of Eureka. Can you see this? Yep.
Oh,
Like here, no microservices is registered so far. No. Okay. This is the IP of my machine and it is up. Cool. All right. I'm typing here Eureka.
The machine means like a computer or Eureka service?
This is the Eureka service dashboard.
Okay.
Nothing is showing. Okay. My job is done. Now I need to make a microservices. I need your help. Allow me. Allowed. Here, if you want to make a microservices, what, yeah, I have already, right? I'll show you today one only, okay? Then we'll talk next thing. This is my one microservices, right? Any other Spring Boot, other Spring Boot application is microservices. How you can make it? I'm just thinking if I can make you very, very simple. Hey, can you see this? This is very simple application. You have to say yes. Why? Yeah, nothing. This is just a controller and okay. Again, you said again why you are making too much complex. Can you make very simple? I'm making it. Allow me? Yes, allowed. I'm making a class. I want to make very simple microservice REST API first. Name may be banking controller. You tell me if you think it's very tough. Let me know, please. Right here, I can say REST controller. Why REST controller? Because this is my REST API. And here, if you want, this is not required. But if you want to give some common mapping, common URL pattern, then you can use request mapping. It is optional. So you want to access by V10. Huh? Yeah. Then public class dog. Hey, can I make a class inside another class?
Yeah.
Why? I'm lazy. That's why I'm doing it. Name private string color private cal. And I'm just making it. Why we are not making it here? No? Sorry. Duh. I hope I'm making myself clear. Yes, it's too clear. Here I'm making a parameterized constructor. You know parameterized constructor? Yes. Core Java. I remember I have taught you core Java.
Yes.
And I told you when you define parameterized constructor, don't forget to define default constructor. Though this is ready. So I want to make a simple REST API, right? Which will return dog, get dog. Yeah. And what you do? Here I can pass dog ID. Do you know these are confused? Get mapping dogs. Hello. You know this, right? And here I can pass the dog ID as a URI. You know this or not?
Yes.
And here you can use path variable. Done. Done. After that, I need to provide one dog ID also, right? Private teaser EID. Again, you can make a getter and setter of only DI. So it is up to you what you want to do. I don't care about it, right? So I want to make a dog. Dog.
Object
You can use
W.
constructor dog or dog view, dog here. And here you can pass dog name Tommy, color white. My dog has only one tail. There are two. What do you want to do? Dog dot say DID. Are you confused? No, return it. This is normal coding, okay? This is nothing to do with microservices. What do you say? Yep.
Yes.
Done. My microservices is done. Very simple, right? Yeah. Clear? And this microservices, you don't focus on another thing. Now you come to the main class. Can you see this? And you know this is main class, and here we have one annotation. Enable. You can use Eureka client or you can use Discovery client also. Discovery client is the more general annotation. Okay. Because of this annotation, it becomes microservices. It is REST API, but because of this annotation, it becomes microservices. Enable discovery client, right? Means because of this annotation, this is going to be registered. Where it has to be registered, you see this file, YAML file. Hello. In this file, here we are mentioning you have to register yourself on this Eureka. In the client, we have to give the information. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Dear friends, here you are saying, hey, my microservices, you are supposed to run on this port number. But where you are supposed to register on Eureka server. Remember, when I was showing you the Eureka, this is the URL, right? Eureka is saying somebody wants to register on me, use this URL. And same thing I'm mentioning in the client, right? Microservices. So this microservice is saying I'm going to register myself with which name? Can you see this? Banking admin API. Hello. This is the service name where this microservices is going to be registered himself with this name on this Eureka URL, right? And what is we have here? We have other setting, right? Health check, enable true lease. Like here we have lease renewal and expiration duration. So we'll talk about tomorrow. You forget about it. For you, only important thing is this and this name. Hey, can I
So
run by this?
banking admin API name means what is the name? We make a name of the microservices.
Yeah. You are giving name to it. If you want, you can give some other name. Allow me. If you want to give banking admin API or whatever you want to give it, right? Mocha API. That's fine. Yeah. And in order to make it client, right? Microservices, you have added one dependency here also. That is, this dependency. You got a point? Same thing.
Yes.
So here you have added Spring Cloud starter. No. I'm sorry. This is okay. Same. You should not bother about the jar. Nobody's going to ask, right? Jar name, right? Some cloud Eureka server, you can talk like this. So this is done, and we have this notation. It's clear to you? This notation ensures this is acting as a client for Eureka. So it will register himself on this URL with this name. Can I run this? And you see? Hello. This is going to be helpful when you have at least how many microservices? 2 microservices. Okay. So I'm going to refresh it, and you see it may be running. Give me a second. Started. This one, no? You refresh it. Can you see this? Hello. When you run that microservices, it is registered here with this name, Banking Mocha API. You understand the whole process? Simple.
Now, if there is another microservice, if it has to register, they will keep the same API number or API or IP address, or this would be the another IP.
Like in real world, right? Every microservices is running in different IP.
Different IP.
Right. But it doesn't matter because when you are running it, you are giving, I am going to register myself on this one, right?
Yeah.
So if you allow to me, I can, like here, I can make another microservices, right? That would not take much time. Just allow me.
Okay.
Like here, you see how much time it is taking, okay? If you have practice. Because I'm not going to write any code, okay? This is my banking P API. Make sense? Finish. You see my speed. because I'm not going to do great job. Okay, everything is there. I would just do copy paste, right? Copy it blindly. It's all about practice. Where is gone? Banking API. Where is gone? Pay, right? If it's taking a lot of time, let me know, right? It's not taking time at all. Simply what I did, I copy all the POM, right? Smartly. Done. That is one thing, right? And what then? After it, you have to help me, please. After that, POM is updated, right? When you update the POM, don't forget to go to Maven. This is not a microservices, man. I'm just teaching you the normal thing. Day one, Spring Boot. I updated it and just create a YAML file. You see, I'm not lazy. I'm super lazy. I'm not going to write a single line of code in this, right? So what this is, I mean, you want to run on this port, on which port number? 809, right? Yeah, and everything is same, and you want to make it what? Pay. Huh? Done. You have to
Same
just
as
change the port number, and you have to just change the application name, service name. My job is done. Okay. After it, you can make another API on it, right? Class. Hello. See, I'm going to make a com dot pay, right? You have to make the main file, right? Main boot. You see my speed? My job is done. You can write the main method. Here you can use Spring Boot application. Yeah, and you can use enable Eureka client, discovery client. My job is done, right? And here what we write? Spring application dot run. And here you can mention the same class name. Yes, Yeah. And this one. My job is done. Yes, You
Yes.
want to make a REST API? I mean, REST API you can make in the same file first time, right? REST controller. Oh my God, I'm making a REST controller also. Fantastic. Public and returning string. Hello. Ooh. Hey, what I have done? Normally you're making a new class, right? Annotate with this annotation, but same thing I'm doing here, right? So here I don't have time. I'm just returning a normal message. Yes, Hello, Mr. Fu. Huh? You want to take the parameter? Yeah, you can take the parameter request param. You want to take name. So what your name is coming, you can print it. Make sense? Get mapping. Hey guys, you may be seeing first time, right? You may be always making your controller. Huh? And here you can use V9. Please remember it. Or V9. Oh, sorry. V9 I can use here also. Allow me what? Request mapping. Hey, first time you may be saying, right? Everything I'm doing in same file. Make sense? Sorry, you are not replying. What I'm saying? I designed my REST API and my main file in the same file. It's okay with you?
Yes.
Can I run it if you allow to me? Yeah. If you run it, it is going to be registered with the Eureka server with which name? Banking Pay API. And running on port number 8099. So go and refresh it. Here you will see two microservices. Can you see this? Yep. One is running on 8098. Second one is running on 8099. So guys, what we have done today, we are able to make two microservices and one Eureka server. In next session, we'll see the inter communication. But I'm telling